Is Squid Game's most chaotic villain really dead? Or will Thanos' purple-haired mayhem return to haunt Season 3? What's good, Squid Game fans? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the biggest mystery from Season 2. Could Thanos, the unpredictable player 230, make a comeback? That fork to the neck seemed fatal, but director Hwang's cryptic hints suggest otherwise. Get ready to explore the wild theories about our favorite purple-haired chaos machine. Before we jump into these mind-blowing theories, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Let's start by unpacking why Thanos was the breakout star of Season 2. This wasn't just another player, he was a force of nature that changed everything. Rocking that signature purple hair, skittle-colored nails, and a grin that screamed trouble, Thanos commanded attention in every scene. Played brilliantly by Choi Sung-hyun, better known as T.O.P., this character brought layers we didn't expect. His backstory as a former rapper who lost everything to a shady crypto scam gave him the perfect motivation. Desperate, angry, and with nothing left to lose. It's what made him so dangerous. What made Thanos truly unforgettable was his unpredictability. Remember how he shoved other players during red light? Green light when everyone else was frozen in fear? T.O.P.'s own real-life struggles with public scandals and personal setbacks added authenticity to the role. You could feel it in every intense stare and explosive outburst. This wasn't just acting, this was channeling something raw and real. Thanos wasn't just a villain, he was the embodiment of what the Squid Game does to people when desperation meets opportunity and morality gets left behind. But then came the moment that left us all floored, the bathroom brawl in Episode 6. The tension that had been building all season finally erupted into chaos. The O-Team, desperate to keep playing for the cash, clashed violently with the X-Team, who wanted to end the games for good. And right in the middle of it all, Thanos, of course. True to form, he was at his most savage, cornering Myungi against the bathroom wall, that scene where he's strangling him with that terrifying intensity in his eyes. Pure nightmare fuel. Myungi's desperate gasps for air had us all holding our breath. Just when it looked like Thanos would claim another victim, everything changed. In a last desperate move, Myungi grabbed a fork and plunged it deep into Thanos' neck. The camera lingered on that shocking moment, the blood spilling, Thanos' eyes widening in surprise. But here's the kicker, and the detail that launched 1,000 theories. We never actually saw what happened to his body. No confirmation of death, no cleanup crew, no body bag. In a game where every elimination is meticulously documented, this ambiguity feels deliberate. Director Hwang Dong-hyuk doesn't do anything by accident, which has fans asking, is Thanos really gone for good? Thanos' apparent death wasn't just a dramatic exit. It's a turning point that could reshape the entire series. Director Hwang Dong-hyuk has publicly called Thanos one of his favorite characters, praising how his chaotic presence completely transformed Season 2's dynamics. More intriguingly, Hwang dropped that cryptic hint in his Netflix interview, saying Thanos will still be present in some way in Season 3. Not might be, will be. That's got fans theorizing like crazy, and we've combed through everything to bring you the most compelling possibilities. Let's break down the two major theories about how Thanos could haunt the next games, plus what the fandom is saying. Remember those pills? Early in Season 2, Episode 3, we saw Thanos sharing some sketchy-looking tablets from his crucifix necklace with Nam-gyu. That scene wasn't throwaway. The camera deliberately focused on that exchange. Those pills were never fully explained, but they screamed bad news. Were they drugs? Performance enhancers? Something worse? Here's where it gets interesting. Nam-gyu is still alive, carrying both those pills and a massive weight of anger after witnessing his ally's death. If Nam-gyu starts popping those pills in Season 3, he could begin seeing visions of Thanos, urging him to embrace chaos and seek revenge. Imagine Nam-gyu, already unstable from the trauma of the games, now haunted by Thanos' grinning face and hallucinations, pushing him to hunt down Myungi and other players. They don't deserve to win, Hallucination Thanos might whisper. Make them pay for what they did to us. This would be genius storytelling, a way to keep Thanos' energy and influence in the show without resorting to a cheap resurrection. It also perfectly fits Squid Game's established themes of psychological torment, where the games mess with players' minds as much as their bodies. Thanos' death taught everyone a terrible lesson. Killing outside the official game still adds to the prize pot. That single realization transformed many players from cautious participants into predators. Remember how quickly the O team launched those nighttime attacks on the X team afterward? That wasn't just about survival, it was about profit. This cycle of betrayal and bloodshed is exactly what Thanos thrived on, and his death poured fuel on that fire. Nam-Gyu, who was closest to Thanos, could pick up his mantle in Season 3, channeling that same aggressive, no-mercy mindset. The student becomes the master. Picture Nam-Gyu stalking Mung-Gi through Season 3's challenges, driven by vengeance and Thanos' lingering philosophy. The only way to win, he might tell terrified allies, is to eliminate the competition before the games even start. Each murder would be a tribute to Thanos' memory. Even if Thanos never physically appears on screen again, his dog-eat-dog mentality could turn Season 3 into the bloodbath Huang has promised. It's like Thanos planted a seed of destruction that continues growing long after he's gone, a legacy of chaos that might be even more dangerous than the man himself. What makes this theory especially compelling is how it aligns with the Squid Game's core message about capitalism and desperation. Thanos isn't just a character. He's a symbol of what happens when the system breaks people so thoroughly that they embrace the very violence that oppresses them. Either way, Season 3 seems poised to show us that sometimes the most dangerous players aren't the ones still breathing. They're the ones who've already left their mark on the survivors' broken psyches. The Squid Game fandom has transformed into a virtual detective agency since the jaw-dropping finale of Season 2. Across Reddit, X, TikTok, and Discord, the theories about Thanos have reached fever pitch, with fans dissecting every frame, analyzing every line of dialogue, and connecting dots that might reveal his true fate. Let's explore the most compelling theories circulating in the community and what evidence supports each one. The most popular theory by far is that Thanos survived the fork attack, according to user at Squid Game Detective, who posted a frame-by-frame analysis that garnered over 75,000 likes. The fork clearly punctures the side of his neck. Medical professionals in the fandom have supported this view, pointing out that neck wounds can look more deadly than they actually are due to superficial bleeding. Adding fuel to this theory is the conspicuous absence of Thanos' body afterward. Every other death in the series has been methodically documented. Bodies removed in pink coffins, belongings collected, player numbers officially eliminated. Yet with Thanos, we see none of this protocol. No announcement, no coffin, nothing. TikTok user at Squid Theories posted a viral video highlighting the suspicious camera cut immediately after the stabbing scene. Hwang Dong-hyuk never cuts away from death scenes. Every other major character death is shown in excruciating detail. Why is Thanos different unless he's not actually dead? Perhaps the most intriguing theory suggests Thanos could return as a pink guard. This idea gained momentum after an eagle-eyed fan spotted a guard in the season finale with a distinctive stance similar to Thanos's. The way he tilts his head and stands with his weight on one leg, that's exactly how Topi carries himself, noted Reddit user Squid Game Sleuth. The narrative logic holds water too. The frontman has shown he values players who embrace the game's ruthless philosophy. Recruiting Thanos would give him a uniquely skilled enforcer who understands player psychology. It would also create a devastating potential reunion with Nam-Gyu, his former ally. A Korean fan site uncovered that actor T.O.P. was spotted near filming locations during late production, well after his character's supposed death scene was filmed. While this could simply be him visiting friends on set, it's added considerable weight to the pink guard theory. Many fans believe Thanos will return not in the flesh, but in the mind. The mysterious pills he shared with Nam-Gyu are central to this theory. Those pills weren't just random props, argues at K-Drama Queen in a detailed analysis thread. The camera lingered on them too long, and director Hwang doesn't waste screen time. The theory suggests Nam-Gyu will begin taking these pills to cope with the trauma of the games, triggering hallucinations of Thanos that will guide, or more likely corrupt, his decision-making. Some fans have connected this to Korean folklore about vengeful spirits, Yosung Saya, that return to influence the living. Supporting this theory is the casting of renowned Korean actor Cho Jin-woong for Season 3, known for roles involving psychological horror and hallucinations. Speculation abounds that he'll play a psychiatrist who treats the players between games, potentially discovering Nam-Gyu's deteriorating mental state. Perhaps the most thematically rich theory doesn't require Thanos to return at all. Many fans believe his true impact was teaching other players that violence outside the games is profitable. Thanos broke the social contract, explains podcast host Squidcast. Before him, players mostly killed each other during sanctioned games. After him, no one is safe anywhere. This theory sees Thanos as a philosophical virus that infected the entire game. His legacy lives on not through his physical presence, but through the behaviors he normalized. Why bring back the character when you can bring back what he stood for? These theories aren't mutually exclusive. The genius of Squid Game lies in its layered storytelling. Thanos could return physically while his philosophy simultaneously corrupts the remaining players. Or his physical absence might amplify his psychological presence. Whatever director Huang has planned, the fandom agrees on one thing. Thanos' impact is far from over. To truly understand why Thanos matters so profoundly to Squid Game's narrative, we need to examine him not just as a character, but as a narrative device that fundamentally altered the show's moral landscape. Let's dissect his significance beyond the shocking death scene and explore what his continued influence might mean for Season 3. Squid Game has always been about testing moral boundaries under extreme pressure. Season 1 showed us how ordinary people could be pushed to betrayal, but most characters maintained internal conflict about their actions. Sang-woo's suicide after betraying Ali reflected his inability to live with his moral compromise. Gi-hun's refusal to kill Sang-woo in the final game showed the resilience of some ethical lines. Thanos shattered this paradigm entirely. He didn't struggle with morality, he rejected it as a concept. His character introduced something new to the Squid Game universe: nihilistic joy. While other players killed reluctantly to survive, Thanos killed with a smile, finding perverse pleasure in the game's cruelty. What makes Thanos so disturbing isn't that he's evil. It's that he found freedom in the game that others found imprisonment, notes cultural critic Dr. Kim Sun-young in her analysis of Season 2. He's the embodiment of what the game organizers want: players who embrace rather than resist the violent spectacle. This moral inversion makes Thanos essential to Season 3's thematic development. His influence challenges the very premise of Gi-hun's mission to end the games. If players like Thanos actually thrive in this environment, is the problem the game itself or something deeper in human nature? When analyzing Thanos' impact, we must consider the psychological contagion he represented. Throughout Season 2, we watched his nihilistic philosophy spread among players, particularly Nam-gyu. This mirrors real-world patterns of how extreme ideologies propagate through vulnerable populations. Director Huang drew inspiration from Stanley Milgram's famous obedience experiments, both of which demonstrated how easily ordinary people can adopt destructive behaviors when given permission by authority figures or peers. Thanos functioned as that permission-giving entity, showing players that embracing violence offered a path not just to survival, but to power. Thanos wasn't just killing competitors, he was killing the concept of cooperation, explains psychologist Dr. Park Jin-woo, who specializes in media impacts on behavior. By Season 2's end, even previously good characters were adopting his tactics, proving his philosophy more contagious than they realized. This psychological transformation will likely be central to Season 3. Nam-gyu's arc seems positioned to show how Thanos' influence continues to spread even after his physical removal from the game, a metaphor for how harmful ideologies outlive their originators. From a game theory perspective, Thanos represents a fascinating disruption. Squid Game's structure initially encouraged limited cooperation, as seen in the tug-of-war game in Season 1, creating a modified prisoner's dilemma where selective trust could benefit certain players. Thanos introduced what game theorists call a Joker strategy, an approach that deliberately destabilizes established patterns to create new competitive advantages. By acting unpredictably and violently outside game parameters, he forced all players to adopt more defensive, distrustful positions. What makes Thanos' strategy so brilliant from a game theory perspective is that it's self-reinforcing, notes economist Yang Wei Chen in her viral essay on Squid Game's economic metaphors. Once one player adopts this approach, everyone must respond in kind or be eliminated. This creates a downward spiral where the game's implicit social contract completely disintegrates. Director Huang confirmed this interpretation in his February 2025 interview with Film Quarterly, stating, "Thanos represents the ultimate end state of unfettered competition. Once you introduce a player who values winning above all else, who sees others as means rather than ends, the entire system inevitably collapses into violence." Even Thanos' aesthetic choices carry thematic weight. His purple hair symbolically positions him outside the game's strict color coding system. Green for players, pink for guards, black for the frontman. Purple traditionally represents ambition, power, and nobility in Korean color symbolism, but also madness and unpredictability. The purple hair isn't just a fashion choice. Cinematographer Hong Kyung-pyo explained in the Season 2 companion book, "We deliberately lit Thanos differently, giving his scenes a subtle purple tint that contaminated the frame, visually representing how his influence was spreading to other players." This visual metaphor may continue in Season 3, with purple motifs appearing whenever Thanos' legacy influences events, a subtle reminder that his impact transcends his physical presence. As we approach Season 3's June 2025 premiere, one thing is certain. Whether Thanos returns physically or haunts the games through his legacy, the purple-haired chaos machine has permanently altered the rules of engagement. Director Huang's promise of the darkest chapter yet suggests that Thanos' true victory may not be surviving the fork attack, but surviving as an idea that transforms everyone it touches. If you're as obsessed with Squid Game as we are, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update from the deadliest game on Netflix. Until next time, stay sharp and watch your back.